Love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate. Good morning to all my South Shore neighbors. This is Sharon McNamara. You are, of course, listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. We are proudly sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate, located here on the South Shore. And again, as I said, I'm the broker owner, and I couldn't do any of this without my sidekick, Melissa Wallace, who is the Director of Operations and agent relations. You just do everything. She's my everything. Remember, that's what I used to say, right? My everything. So I think we have that on your name tag on your door, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Our everything.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah. So good morning to you, and I believe we have Tim McKinney in the house. Good morning, Tim.
Yes, good morning. Tim McKinney is here, and I don't know if you thought of this, but whereas Talk Real Estate and houses and places where you live have a door, you Director of Operations, you could say Melissa is your door.
Oh, yes. Yes, she is.
I'm your door.
She is the door. Yes, she is.
Always open for you.
Always here for all of us, by the way. Yes. And she actually came up with the saying that we have downstairs. We have like a fireplace downstairs, and we have like our smart board. Mm-hmm. And above it says, a home to call our own. So she does it all. She does it all.
Yeah. That was when we bought the building. So we have our own home here.
Yay. Yes, we do. We do. And Tim put a little Instagram thing out there with a picture of himself in the studio the other day, and I was like, he's the best of the best. Yeah. I commented.
Yes,
did you see my comment?
You.
Yeah, you are the best of the best. I don't care what the rest of them think of me over there. So here we are.
I think the consensus is very along the lines of what you said.
Yes. Oh, everybody loves you. Everybody loves you. You're the fave. You're like the favorite kid in the family.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, awesome. So here we are. It's beautiful August, and what we're going to be talking about today, some people might be surprised by it, because when we're out in the field, let's say, you would never find me in an actual field, but you know what I mean? I say I'm a city girl, but it's like I've lived in Pembroke for 34 years, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm not really a city girl anymore. My heart is a city girl. Ticks and bugs and all that type of stuff. Yeah. And you wouldn't find me in a field more so because I'm afraid of snakes. So
yeah, we're going to be sort of in a field on Wednesday taking our pictures. And I'm like, this is not natural. We don't hang out in fields.
Yeah. You're doing your our engagement
photos.
That
But yeah.
That would be fun. But out in the field, what we're hearing is, you put a house on the market and it goes under agreement right away. Or you put a house on the market and you don't have to worry about it. It's like as easy as putting a sign out on the front yard. And I assure you people that is not the case. Mm-hmm. It isn't as simple as just putting a sign out on the front. And, it's interesting because in my industry is people think, when the market is really hot and really fast, they feel as if they don't need the real estate agent. And then when it's a little tougher and they do hire the real estate agent, they sort of blame the real estate agent when a property doesn't sell, right? Mm-hmm. I could literally end the show with one sentence. If your house isn't selling, it's probably because of price. It just comes down to price. Yeah. It's the condition, the location has to match the price. The home is not worth what I want, what I have to have, and what I need to get. Yeah. So, all right, the show's over. There you go. That was your tip. That was your top tip from Sharon McNamara today. Just don't overprice your house and you won't have a problem. What I assure people, and it's a mindset that is hard for people to get over, is they feel as if they're underpricing their house. Mm-hmm. You can never underprice a house. Yeah. It's impossible.
Yeah, the market will tell you, is if you do underprice, I'm using air quotes, buyers are going to come in and offer you what they believe it is worth, and it will drive the price up. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that you can underprice your house. You can certainly overprice a house. And again, the market will tell you that too, because no buyers will be there. No offers will come through.
Exactly. And that's the risk that you take when you overprice a house is, and here's the thing, you can overprice your house. I actually had somebody reach out to me. It's not my listing. Had reached out to me this past week actually, and just said, "Can you tell me honestly, do you think my house is overpriced?" And this is again, like, I have great relationships with people when they use other agents, by the way. I mean, I don't resent anybody for not using me if they choose not to.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting that I'm lean into to get the advice, and I'm happy to do it, whatever. But once you're under contract with another agent, I no longer can give you advice, right? Because I can't interrupt that relationship with your agent. And, my advice might be much different than what your agent's advice is. But, if you're asking the question, do you think my house is overpriced? I think you know the answer.
Yeah, much like everything else, if you have to ask the question, you already know the answer to it. So if your house has been sitting on the market, hasn't had a lot of activity, the feedback is sort of bare minimum, no offers, you sort of know the answer already.
Yeah. I mean, there are some outliers of reasons why maybe a house would sit on the market longer than other times. Maybe you put it on Christmas Eve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
4th of July. Certain times when you put a house on the market, it might slow things down. Like last year, we fell into that a little bit with one of my listings where, the one in West Bridgewater, I wanted to put it on the market. We got a little snow, snow. And the daughters were like, "Oh, we think we want to wait until, maybe next week because let some of the snow melt down and it just looks better." And I was like, all right, but we're in winter. So, and in New England, you never know when you're going to get more snow. And lo and behold, we got a blizzard.
Yeah.
Right. So now we were almost a month behind on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it sort of slowed down my pace, I would say.
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, we talk about this all the time, that the market is ever changing every single day. And I just remember when I first started with you over 10 years ago, I remember having to call sellers and begging them for us to do open houses. I mean, the houses were on the market for longer. They weren't going as quickly. And I mean, that was the market 10 years ago. We used to beg, please, can we do an open house this weekend? Can we do and they're like, another one? I'm like, yes, please. Can we do another one? And now it's like, it definitely has changed. But again, the show is about homes that are sort of sitting on the market for a little bit longer. And we're going to talk about why. And yes, I would say that the primary factor would be price. But there are a couple other factors that we'll get into as well.
Yeah. And our WAT listeners have been very, very quiet as of late. Do you agree? Are they just not up this early? Should we be calling?
I can see people are watching us on social media.
Yeah.
So
Hello, social media friends.
Hello. Give us a ring-a-ding-ding.
Yeah, you can call us too at the studio, 781-837-4900. We'd love to hear from you. And if you do have your house on the market and it isn't selling, feel free to call. I just don't want to know any of the specifics. The information I give you would be very general because I really can't get involved with what your agent is telling you that you should be doing. If you're thinking about putting your house on the market and you want some tips, then feel free. There's Dee. We haven't seen Dee in a while.
Oh, hi, Dee.
Hi, Dee. Look how excited I was just to see Dee. Hello, hello. She just said hello. So you too can go onto Facebook and you can send us messages, and we have a screen in front of us so we can be watching along as well. Tim can also get text messages in the studio. So if you're shy, but you want to get a comment or a question over to us, he'll be happy to read it to us. 781-837-4900.
I think the first thing that we should really talk about is, is the real estate market changing? Do you feel a shift even from the beginning of the year to right now? And what is that shift?
I really do. It's almost this thing that I can feel when things are going to be shifting. And again, as you know, I have a lot of friends who listen on social media as well. And Clubhouse, everybody knows that app. I sometimes attach, but I didn't today. But, I have a lot of friends, and they're all agents throughout the country. And it's really interesting because I listen to what's going on in other states, especially listening on the state, like our sand states, the Florida, Arizona, like those states. And when things are slowing down there, I anticipate that they'll slow down here too at some point. They've been slow for a while. I mean, their houses are on the market forever. And then I think it's funny because then I'm like, I'll call you and I was like, Melissa, I put this house on the market like 5 hours ago and I don't have one showing yet.
And I'm like, people haven't gotten their email yet. Relax.
I know, but I mean, it's a real feeling for me. You know what I mean? Because honestly, there's a big, there's a big, is the word onus on me that like I feel responsible when I'm helping people decide. I'll show you what the market is, where the market is. I'll give you a range. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're the one pricing it. I give you my suggestions, but you decide. And sometimes I'm like, oh, was I off on this one?
I also want to note that, yes, it's ultimately the seller's decision, but you can also say no.
Oh, I have. There are
You
people
can
who
also
want to
say,
be
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
that it's just not, it's just not reasonable. So I think that that's important to say.
Yeah, because I mean, if somebody wants to be $100,000 overpriced, I'm not about giving false hope and aspirations to people. You know what I mean? So, and two, I mean, the cost that goes along with it for us as agents, you know what I mean? It's like, I just don't want to be, one thing is the money, but the other thing is the time.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be overpriced, people are just going to have these comments in their head. But I feel like I'm going off track of your agenda here.
No, I'm just curious if you've seen a shift in maybe buyer activity.
Yeah, so I feel like some buyers are coming out again now. So we sort of have a slowdown once 4th of July comes anyway. So we definitely saw a little bit of a slowdown. It's been very, very busy in our office. I noticed the other day, I think there's like 8 things went contingent last week in the office. So I know that our agents are very busy. I might have hit upon this a little bit last week where I said, there's a difference right now with, multiple offers. Yes, we're still seeing multiple offers, but maybe not 10, 12, 22, whatever. We're seeing like 3, 4 seems to be.
All you need is one.
And that's all you need is one. Yes. Yeah. So we're seeing, still seeing multiple offers if your house is priced correctly. But we also have a couple agents in the office who had listings. And we're going to do like a little roundtable in the office on like what to do when your house is over, when your house is not selling. And that's a struggle for the agents as well. I mean, I know it's frustrating for home buyers when they're like, how come nobody wants my house?
Yeah.
It's just as frustrating for the listing agent, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I know of one right now, and she's just kind of like, what's going on? Like, it's crickets, and
I think her words are, what the heck?
Yeah.
Doesn't she say that all the time? What the heck?
And, it's just sort of crickets, and nobody's coming by, and it's priced really great, actually. It's actually under the market value. So what is going on? And it is a great home. And I know that you've visited it, but it's like, where is everybody? Are people seeing it? So, and I do have a section in here about marketing and how, it's not, you're marketing the property, not just when you put it on the market, but if it's continuing to stay on, you have to continue to market that. You and I went to, it was actually somebody who listens to us here on the radio show. They had their house on the market with somebody else. And asked for our opinion and
our advice
ultimately ended up staying with that original agent, who's a great agent as well, but my first thought was, okay, well, let me go on their social media because they had mentioned something of like, the marketing and still trying to get it out there and everything, and they had only posted about that property that once when they put it on the market, which was like 6 months ago. So how is anybody?
I think it's still on the market.
Yeah, it is. So, you still have to market that property, and whether it's word of mouth, it's on social media, it's talking on the radio show here about these properties, because, sometimes people forget and they say, you know what, let's go revisit that one. It's still on the market, and we want people to do that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things when you're talking about that one listing, and that's a really good example of even the other one that our agent has, it wasn't her fault that it started too high. So it was listed with another agent previous to her, and they went on too high. And I used to have back in the day when things were slow, I had a slide, and it was almost like, it's like, I could probably do something great right now on AI to come up with this, to do a video. It's almost like chasing a snowball going downhill. Before you know it, it's bigger than you, right? So like you can never get ahead of it. And that is really truly the risk that you take when you try to test a market that is testing you. The market is smart right now. The market is not back when I started 25 years ago. Back then, we didn't have the internet where you could just go on and find anything. You didn't have an app where you could stand in front of a house and find all the houses that are on the market around you. You didn't have an app where you could see like the land and how much the house, they paid for the house. What's the assessment of the house? What are other comparable sales to the house? We didn't have all that. So you had to sort of depend on the advice of just the real estate agent. Buyers when they're looking for a house, I'm telling you, they are like scientist on an amoeba. And they're like really dissecting every little part of it. You know what I mean? They're watching constantly. They know the numbers. A lot of times they'll even know the numbers better than I will know some of the numbers. And I'll be like, oh, I have to catch up and let me go. I like to look at things on MLS versus, all the other platforms.
Jenny Wandell, who is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, is watching us. She says, things are shifting in a good way. This is opportunity for people to not be pressured. Still, don't snooze. Talk with the realtor you trust.
Yeah, that's good. She has good advice like that. Yeah.
Yeah, don't snooze, people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder if her mindset is coming from the perspective of a buyer's agent there, because read it again.
This is opportunity for people to not be pressured. Still, don't snooze. Talk with your realtor you trust. So yeah. Probably
more from a buyer agent perspective. Yeah. And from a seller's agent, as a seller's agent perspective, it's, price your house accordingly, and things shift. I mean, one of the things when I'm signing a listing contract with people, I prefer to leave the price like to be determined, because literally it happened to me this week.
Yeah.
Up into the minute of putting a house on the market, I am looking at comps.
Yeah.
And I decided to make an adjustment, it wasn't my decision, but I did talk to my client about making an adjustment on the price based on other things that came on the market. You certainly don't want to be the house that helps sell other houses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because why would I do this if I could do that? But she's been great anyways. And she, took my advice and ultimately her decision. And she said, yeah, let's do that. So I said, we're better off to get more people through the door than to not have people come through the door at all.
Well, I had this conversation with Matt Mahoney, who is another full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate. He was in actually a couple times this week, and he has a new listing. We'll talk about all of our open houses later on in the show, but he has a new listing here in Pembroke, and we were just chatting about, I did a coming soon for him, and some people were like, oh, what's the price or whatever, and he went ahead and he shared the post and he put the price and the address and everything, and that's fine. And I was talking to him, I said, I don't put the price on coming soons because look at what just happened. You say that yes, this is, this address and it's coming on for $700,000. We'll say that. And then all of a sudden, 2 days later, something else comes on the market or something else, and it's like, oh gosh, this is like a 675 house now.
Yeah. Or it's a 750 house.
Or it's a 750 house, So and I know how frustrating it might be, but here's the thing, either reach out to us directly or have your agent reach out to us directly.
Don't write us nasty messages
Yeah.
on social media. You know who you are.
yeah.
Like, why are you doing that?
I do try to respond to some of them being like, oh, just want, like, you know,
Yeah.
we're trying to do the best for
Well,
our clients.
I hate when real estate agents do
Don't
this.
leave the
Yeah,
price.
don't give the price. Well, sorry, like we're not there yet, but we
Yeah.
left you our phone number so you can call us.
So-
Stop hiding behind the curtain and being anonymous.
Yeah, and the price can go up or it can go down.
Yeah.
In your case, it went down.
Yeah. And
Because
I
of
have
something
other
else that
cases-
came on the market 2
Yeah.
days before.
Yeah.
You know, so we want to do the best for our client. That is our fiduciary responsibility, is to our client.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we're marketing a property. We have the right to do that as a coming soon. And yes, the market is changing every single day. So it can go up, it can go down. If we say that the house is coming on for $700,000, it could have automatically eliminated people who can't afford that.
Yeah.
But maybe $675,
Yeah.
maybe $650.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so just give us a minute.
Yeah, just let us. And
Just
that's the
give us
thing
a
is,
minute.
I think, I don't know why people are afraid to call and reach out, you know, because I don't take a DNA sample. My first question always is, oh, who is your agent? I'd rather know client than somebody else's client.
Yeah.
So it's just, my job is to work for my current client, who is my seller. So when we're doing these coming soons, it is in their best interest that I am not posting the exact price or the address. Sometimes we don't put in the address. And if you want the address, all you have to do is send me a text. Do you know, a lot of people reach out. I was talking to Matt yesterday, actually, and he was saying that people had been reaching out to him as well, just with these coming soons that you've been doing on Instagram and Facebook. And we respond by text back, you know? So
Yeah. I would say that that's the best way to do it, you know, and have your agent. And I always respond back to people and say, hey, if you're currently working with an agent, please have them reach out to the listing agent. If you're not, feel free to reach out directly.
And by the way, if you're working with a buyer's agent, by the way, they want you to call them
Yeah.
before you call me.
Yeah.
Or call any listing agent. Like, that is sort of one of the rules. You know what I mean? I know maybe you're saying, oh, I don't want to bother them. It's not a bother. That's their job. That's what they're doing. So they would much rather. And I enjoy that. I always ask, like, oh, who's your agent? Oh, half the time I know who their agent is. And I'll just send them a text. Hey, just want to let you know your client reached out to me about my coming soon. Here it is. You know what I have now is like shortcuts that I'm doing on my phone.
Yeah.
I actually did it yesterday for like showings and stuff, like just to get feedback. And I'll just put in like 207 Valley, all is one word. And it comes up with, thank you for taking the time to show my property. I'd like to have some feedback, blah, 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 blah. I mean, we have good relationship with our buyer's agents.
Yeah.
We're not the enemy.
Yeah. We're not the enemy. I
P.S. We
promise.
want you to buy the house. That's my job.
My job is to sell it. Let's get someone to buy it.
For sure, yeah.
I think we already know this answer, but are we seeing more price enhancements and longer days on market?
Yeah.
And let's get into some of those factors. What keeps a house on the market? Some of the things that influence, I have this whole list right here, you know, major factors that influence buyer sort of response to properties is the price, the condition, the location, property type, inventory that's going on the market, other competition as well, the presentation of that property, photography, marketing, showing availability, financing considerations, time of year, and buyer demand within that specific price range. Sorry, I forgot to number your pages.
That's okay. I'm
a
just
new
trying
thing.
to follow where you are.
So, you know, these are all things that we talked about sort of in the beginning of, you know, price and condition, location. These are all factors for, you know, the price of the property, but it also influences the buyer's response.
Yeah. I mean, I said this right out the first sentence I said, and said, okay, we can end the show now. The price of the house should be in line and in sync with the current condition of your house and the current location. So I'll use another one of my listings. I put 2 new listings on the market this week. So one of my listings is this charming, adorable little cape, and my client purchased it in, I want to say, 2017
maybe.
Yeah. So how many years ago was that? 7 years
9
ago?
years ago.
9 years ago. So he concentrated, and it was the original owner, similar to your home, right? So like there was wallpaper, there's, things like that. He wasn't too concerned about wallpaper and that type of stuff. But mechanically, he really took the bull by the horns there, and he did some nice things, like he opened up the staircase so it like makes that first floor flow. I did that in my house. That is not a cheap adventure, by the way, when you're doing that. Yeah, it is. It was way more expensive than I ever expected. But I love that we did it, and I love that he did it. And he did some really, really nice mechanical things. He has this big, huge, beautiful 12 by 24 shed that it's like a garage with a garage door, and it has electricity, internet, water, generator hookup.
Wow.
So he did, in those 9 years, he was doing a lot of things to the house. Unfortunately, when buyers walk through a house, they're not looking at those things. And it was a newer septic system. They're looking at damn wallpaper.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't even get it.
Yeah.
I don't even get it. But I know the mindset of a buyer. As I say, when I'm walking through somebody's home, when I'm doing a CMA, I walk through your home as the eyes of a buyer. Buyers are looking for what's wrong. They're not looking for what's right. So when I do that, I'm just trying to take mental note. I know as I'm walking through this house that people are going to be picking up on things. Like there's one little scuff in some of the wallpaper. It's there from the previous owner, who was an older woman who had a rocking chair. That's the reason it's there, you know?
It didn't bother your client.
Exactly.
You just chose not to fix it.
Previous to me being, my client being there was a water stain up in the ceiling. When he got there 9 years ago, he took a little pen and he put little marks around that to make sure it wasn't active and growing. And you know what I mean? So it didn't get any bigger. He took a meter to it, moisture meter to it. It's fine, right? So the cosmetic things he wasn't looking at mechanically. Oh, there's a new oil tank. There's a new water heater. There's like a lot of great things.
Yeah.
Oh, mass save, everything. I'm talking about this house. So I'm going to be there tomorrow, by the way, from 1 to 3. It's 207 Valley Street. In fact, it is exactly next door to where that barn accident was on Thursday.
Yeah.
I was at the home doing a commuter open house on Thursday when I heard a lot of commotion, and then I saw police cars going by, and people are looking there like, wow, this is a busy street. And I go, this is not their path. Like there's no like fire station or police station at the end. Yeah. Like, and I was like, they are on their way somewhere, but that's where they were on their way to. And so this house abuts 104 beautiful acres of an equestrian farm, blah, blah, blah. People were coming through my open house the other day and on Thursday, and one person said, oh yeah, but it needs a lot of work. I'm like, it's priced according to the condition. It's $600,000. If it didn't have wallpaper, it would be $650,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. It's 3-bedroom Cape. I mean, it's...
Are things dated? Yeah. In the house?
Yeah.
Like cosmetically, but they work. I mean, that's the same with my house.
Yep.
It's dated. It will happen over time, but they work right now. I'm not stressed about it.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, wallpaper can be annoying to take down, but if that's all you have to do, like to move in, I think that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and I mean, the kitchen definitely has like the older cabinets and things like that, but they're wood cabinets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, my point of that was the house is priced according to the condition it's in. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We already got an offer on it. It wasn't accepted because we're going to go through the open house because I know it's priced according to the condition. I've been telling people that we're going to do the open house. So I'll be there, as I said, 207 Valley Street, adorable, adorable Cape. And it's, I'll be there, 1 to 3 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, the location.
The location.
Yeah, the price, the condition, and location. That's why it's priced that way. And believe me, I went through this exercise with my clients, and I was like, honestly, you could probably be higher. You could probably be a little bit lower if you wanted to, but I don't think it's necessary. I know that this is a really great price for this house, period, amen. So come visit me tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that if it was lower, it would certainly drive that number up higher.
Yeah.
And, you know, ultimately, you have to do what's best for your client. I think the value is there at $600. Again, if you underpriced it, I'm using my air quotes for everybody. If you underpriced it, you know, you'll see that. it'll be reflected in your offers.
Don't you think like the general public, everybody has an opinion? You know what they say about that, right?
Everybody has a bum.
Yeah, everybody has a bum. And one of my clients I was talking to last week, and he was saying to me, "Oh, I was talking to somebody, like I was out to dinner and the waitress came over to me and we were talking, and she lives right close by to his house, and he was saying, yeah, I was talking to the waitress, and the waitress couldn't believe the price of my house and said that it's definitely underpriced."
Who? What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I said to him that that's great. Well, tell your waitress to continue waitressing, and I'll continue to price houses.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even being mean. It's just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that is not the case. Like, I do this for a living. Like, I'm sort of a freak about comps, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was freaking out with you this week, and I was like, I don't know, what am I missing, Mel? I need you to look at these numbers. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing?
Yeah.
So
You're like, did I mean $100,000 less? I'm like, no. You're fine. Relax.
I know.
You're okay.
And that's the thing is, I made the mistake of letting voices get in my head. And I can't do that. That's why when I'm doing an analysis for people, I don't ask them right out the gate, what do you think the value of your house is? Because honestly, I'm a benefactor. I want to make you very, very happy through this process, but I don't also want to know what your number is. I want to show you where the numbers are, and then you tell me what you want to price your house at. But so it's funny though, when I think about the general public, and I know I'm off and you have this great agenda here, but isn't it funny how it's like people's comments are one of two things? Either you're underpriced if you live in the neighborhood, or you're overpriced.
Yeah.
Because I got the same thing on the house on my street.
Yeah, I know. And we get that a lot on social media too, of like, oh, this is going to be like with coming soon's like, oh, this is going to be, and it's so much higher. And I'm just like, ooh, I can't wait for them to see it's not that high. Or sometimes I'm like, you get the comments of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this market of like this number. And it's like, well, I hope that when it's time for you to sell your house, you get exactly what you want and you deserve for the condition in your house.
Yeah.
And I understand, with the rising prices of homes is also the rising prices of taxes and everything like that. But I think for the most part, life goes up and it doesn't go down.
Yeah, let's hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it has gone down. You haven't been alive for that type of market, but I have for a couple times. But one of the things I'm actually thinking about is the conversation I had with Matt Mahoney yesterday, and he was doing an analysis for somebody, and he's like, "Hey," he goes, "I was wondering if you could help me. Is there an agent in the office maybe that might know a little bit about Pembroke that I could lean into?"
He's such a brat.
He is such a brat. We love Matt Mahoney, but he is such a brat. He's a cute brat, though.
Yeah.
So we were talking, and one of the factors when you're looking at pricing houses, and he's like, I just don't see it. Like, there's one in the neighborhood that sold for this amount, and like, I just don't see it with this house, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, did you look at this house? Did you look at that house? And we were talking it through. And then I thought, this is the interesting factor. And I think one of the things that I might start looking at now, this is when you asked me earlier, Sharon, is there a shift in the market? I'm feeling that there is a shift in the market. Okay. So people, follow along. If you're at home, take out some paper. Okay. Because it's going to get messy and confusing when I talk about all these numbers. A house is on the market for $650. Okay. It sells for $700.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the market value of that house at the time it went on the market?
Yeah, $650.
Right.
Let's hope.
Okay, yeah, right. So all things equal, we're saying that it was priced accordingly.
Yeah.
So the market value was saying that the value of this house is $650.
Mm-hmm.
A buyer went in and said, emotionally, I want to live in this neighborhood. I'll give you $700,000.
Yeah.
Now, this number and this jump, by the way, of $50,000, it can be much more. It could be $750. Okay, let's even say that someone's willing to pay $100,000 to live next to their brother or whatever, right? So now, fast forward, and let's say a month later, I'm putting, and let's just say that that's a colonial, okay? That house, it's a 3-bedroom colonial. Now I have a 3-bedroom colonial that I'm looking at And what I've been doing is, okay, this house sold. Now this house, that house sold. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it would probably be 60 days, but whatever. Doesn't matter. So normally I would take that 700,000
Yeah.
and say, all right, this house sold for 700,000. That's the new that's
Yeah.
the sold price.
Yeah.
That means the market was willing to pay for that. That new price is 700,000. Now my baseline for that same exact house, same exact neighborhood, whatever, apples to apples, is instead of starting at 650, it's starting at 700.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see this is where I'm seeing the change. In page 1 of your agenda here, one of the questions you said are buyers becoming more selective?
Yeah.
This is what I'm seeing, and this is where I'm feeling the shift right now is I think that people are saying, all right, yeah, maybe the house is worth 700, but I'm not going to give you 750 for it.
Yeah.
The other people went now. So the seller's thinking, hey, they went on for $650 and got $50,000 more. I'm going to go on for $700, and I expect to get $50,000 more.
Yeah.
That is no longer occurring. That happened to me. It's going to be closing on Monday. The listing that I have on my street. Okay. People were saying, I heard the rumors on the street where, oh, she underpriced that house. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's no way to underprice a house. It's like water. It will seek its own level, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm where it should be in the range, emotional value is going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Right? We got 6 offers on that house.
Yeah.
The net to seller ended up being almost identical with all 6 of them. There was a couple that were like, all right, you can afford this list price, but you can't afford to be in this, the emotional aspect of, bidding. So like there was one outlier right there like that, but every other one was basically the same.
Yeah.
It will seek its own level.
And, we're investigative reporters over here, where
You are. I just like to listen.
There was even one that decided to go in, I'm going to say low only because compared to all the offers, it was probably the lowest that they could probably afford the most, so if you're not putting your best foot forward, sometimes it's very clear that, okay, they're not as serious as others. Like we're just going to go with somebody who has definitely put their best foot forward, who has, expressed their interest and want for this house. So it's all factors into your offer. It's not just the price.
I was just saying, Amy Troop, she is a good friend of mine. She's a real estate agent here on the South Shore too, and she's one of the best, and I consider her a friend. I hope she feels the same way about me. Do you think? I just said it out loud, so now she's going to feel awkward and say, of course you're my friend. MLS is real.
Yeah.
So I think that she was indicating when I was talking earlier that I use MLS for all my stats versus looking at even like Zillow. One of my clients called me this week and said, oh, you put in walk-in closets because I like people to review everything. And I was like, no, I didn't say that. And every bedroom had a walk-in closet. So I don't know where he got that. And I was like, where are you seeing that information? I checked, I verified MLS, right? And he's like, and he sent me a screenshot. It was on Zillow. Don't always believe what you see on those.
Yeah, those are all third-party sites that are pulling information, but they don't have the same slots for it to go in.
Yeah.
So it's not like a mirror image, those websites. So sometimes they just have to sort of throw information somewhere.
Yeah, they have to put it somewhere. Oh, they see one little blurb somewhere because I do have a walk-in closet and somewhere. But anyways, so back to this analysis, right? So I know that this became about pricing more than anything else, but it's usually the factor. If your house isn't selling, it's going to come down to price. I'm sorry. Like if it's worth it, or unless you have like, a nuclear power plant in your backyard, like then that's another factor why it wouldn't be selling, or high tension wires.
I was just going to say high tension wires. That was an issue for one of your listings a couple years ago.
Absolutely. So now I'm thinking where I feel this market is right now. I think my new strategy is, now my strategy has changed with my clients anyways. I'm like, here's your range. At a certain time during a peak, I would say, you know what? Definitely you can test the market. They're going fast. There are a lot of buyers out there right now. We could be on the high end of your range. Stay within your range. You can be on the high end of your range, maybe a little bit over. and we were still seeing them sell. Then I'm now changing it to, I think to get the most people through the door, I think that what you need to do is be on the lower to mid side of your range to get more people in.
Yeah.
Now, buyer's agents are going to see where the high is. So when they're putting in an offer, and if there's more than one, then they'll say to their client, listen, I ran these comps. The value of this house is between 650 and 700. I think you should go in at 700, even if
Yeah.
we're priced at 650.
Yeah.
But from this point, I'm going to do 2 CMAs now for people. I'm going to do one that I'm going to base the price on this escalated, artificially inflated emotional price of 700. But I'm also going to do it on the list price because that was the original market value of that house. Because I think that's going to make a big difference of
Yeah.
where we're going to see our ranges. So I feel like when I do it with that original market value, that's going to give me the low end of the range when I use the other number.
And I also want to say that, even if that property got multiple offers, they could have only gotten one offer at that 700 price.
Yeah.
Some of them could have been closer to the list price, maybe over. But we just don't know. We don't know. I mean, it is sometimes a conversation. So, you might call the listing agent of that and say, hey, like, how was your activity? How many, do you mind sharing how many offers, you received? And sometimes through conversation, you sort of get an idea of where the offers all sort of were. But, I think that sometimes it could just be the one and you're like, okay, yeah, we're definitely going to take that. And that drove up that market because that one person came in with an emotional value.
And it's up to our clients too. So on both my new listings that I put on the market this week, I have offers on both. I didn't even tell you that, but I have an offer on both. And so, we have the open house tomorrow. I mean, of course, my advice to my clients is, okay, like, of course you can take this offer if you want to take this offer and we can move on.
Yeah.
Or like, I think that we owe it to the people that have been, I have it posted everywhere that we're having an open house. There's a lot of people that haven't had the opportunity to see it.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the open houses. But we had a client over the summer who's one of our listeners. I wonder if he still listens to us now that he's in another state. I bet you he does. Mike, if you're out there, give us a high five somewhere. We're thinking of you. I was actually thinking of him a couple of weeks ago, too. I'm wondering how they're doing down there. But the same thing happened to him. Before we got to that open house, he got an offer. It was an offer that he was absolutely fine with. The agent was very smart, made the offer worth his while to take it off the market, and he didn't want to test the market anymore. He's like, nope, this is great. I want to move on. So we didn't go through with it. So the decision is always yours. It's just we give you advice of how we're seeing and feeling things.
I also want to say that, longer market time doesn't automatically mean that there's something wrong with the house. Sometimes properties are just unique and have a smaller sort of buyer pool. So
we have a buyer like Melissa in it. That wants your unique.
I want a unique, something unique, something with character is what I would say. But, think about antiques. Not everybody wants an antique. Sometimes they stay on the market a little bit longer. Some people are scared of antiques and what comes along with that. Things that you can't sort of change is a busy road, unusual lot, maybe older conditions. Just on the same page. Too. We've only made it to page 2. It's almost over. So, and also like age restrictions. So we have those like 55 plus communities and things like that are factors into why something would stay on the market longer. Mobile homes and things like that have sort of a smaller pool of buyers. Of course, there are communities that, people want to get into, and those tend to go pretty quickly. You have a client who's purchasing in a 55 plus community that is very desirable to a lot of people. You actually have two people, two different sets of clients. Yeah. And I think both of those communities are desirable to buyers out there. But there are other factors, and I want to preface that.
One of them is inventory that's on this list too, and I'd love the opportunity to talk about that a little bit too, because I noticed yesterday, wow, a lot of things are coming on the market. So, and we noticed, we said this a couple of weeks ago, I mean, the agents have been in the office and they are, doing a lot of CMAs. for resale properties. And it's interesting because I meet with my developer every week. Excuse me, every week there's like 10 from Stonebridge,
Yeah.
like all together, there's 10 of us, I guess. And it's all the foremen, the owners, finance, everybody on these meetings. And one of the questions to me at the end is always, Sharon, how do you see the market? What's going on in the market? What's going on in your office? Blah, blah, blah. So, and they like to know that information, like what's going on with the resale world to sort of get a hold of what's going on in new construction as well. So I'm thinking about these things all the time. And one of the things I said to them this week is I can see that things are going to stop being picking up in resales. And I'm wondering if Amy is seeing this too, because I saw that she was listening at one point. But one of the things I'm seeing, I have a client that called me this week, selling everything, moving to Costa Rica. I have another client who wants to sell everything and move to Australia.
Yeah.
Right. So we had a client who sold everything, moved to North Carolina this year. I mean, we have a lot of people who, I have a client right now. That's what she's doing. She's selling her house. She's selling everything and moving to North Carolina. So I think that last winter did something to people. I know it did something to me and it wasn't good, but it just gets you in that mode of, I just want to be outside. But inventory now, I'm starting to see that sort of trickle up again. People are thinking, all right, summertime is over and I'm out.
I can't believe we haven't even brought this up of like, we're talking about days on market, new construction.
Yeah.
New construction is a reason why a lot of properties, like they stay on the market longer, is because they are new construction. And you talk about a lot of, sometimes your days on market are higher than other agents. It's because you do a lot of new construction.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that is funny because I did a CMA, just to fill in our listeners. I did a CMA several years ago for somebody, and they're like, what's your DOM? And I was like, the general public isn't going to ask me that.
DOM?
What's your DOM, days on market?
Yeah.
And I was like, they're talking to somebody, and somebody is clearly knows, like they're using this against me type thing, right? And so I said, to be quite honest, I have a very high days on market. And they just like sort of looked at me and I said, but with very good reason. I was like, if you take my new construction out of the equation, then of course I'm aligned with everybody else. But, if I have a model and it's, I've had a model for 3 years almost.
Yeah.
So my days on market might look high.
Yeah, they might look high, but take out the
Excuse
new
me,
construction.
Sharon.
Yeah.
We have a text from Sharon Sharyn in Hanson. A few minutes ago, she texted that she looked up 207 Valley Street and she said, it's adorable.
Oh, thank you.
Sharon. I knew another. I wonder if it's the same Sharon that I used to work with at USA Health and Fitness. I hope she's still listening and give me a yes or a no, because I love the way that she spells her Sharon.
Yeah.
My Sharon is boring. And why
It's just traditional.
It's boring. It's a boring Sharon. I always wanted the Sharon with the YN, or I wish I'm named after my grandfather. My grandfather's name was Leo. They called him Lee.
So double R.
Sharon. CHARRON. So why didn't she just spell it that way if my name is Sharon Lee?
I don't know. I think she just wanted to be traditional.
Maybe I'll change it. Maybe I'll spice
But yes,
up my life.
207 Valley Street in Pembroke is adorable. I was there for the photos, and it's just what a great house. It's got some really great bones, and I'm really happy that there are some people who are excited about that. Again, you've already received an offer, but you're going to go through the open house. You do have another open house tomorrow. We've given a lot of love to 207 Valley Street, but you do have another listing.
I do. It's 279 Center Street. It's right here in Pembroke, right around the corner from my office. And it is a wonderful split level house, raised ranch. And I know back in the day, people are like, I'll do anything but a raised ranch. Come and see. I mean, honestly, don't rule out anything.
I mean, I was there for the photos for that one too with you, and I walked in and I was like, I wish I bought this instead of my house. And I have a raised ranch, but this just felt like very big and just, spacious, and it has a beautiful, that porch,
Sunroom.
the sunroom out the back, and just a great backyard. And I mean, the location, you can't beat that. You know, and it just
Keep talking. You're selling it,
it's
girl.
just honestly, I was like, oh my gosh. I even said to you when we were doing the photos, I was like, oh.
Should we put you? Why don't we put an offer in on it, and you can put your house on the market?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that would be like a lateral move for more money.
Yeah.
But
Not
no,
really, though,
it
'cause
is.
the sunroom.
Yeah, I know. And well, I said that. I was like, oh, my cats would love this room.
Yeah. And
But no, it is. I was jealous. I'll say it. I was jealous. I was like, oh gosh, I wish like this was available. Like, I mean, and she bought it like maybe 3 years more before I bought my house. But I was like, oh man,
yeah,
I like this.
it really is nice.
I'm sorry. Don't
Yeah,
mean
go
to
ahead.
interrupt.
Go ahead.
I have a response back from Sharon. She says, I'm not the USA Fitness Girl, but I worked with Mary to sell both our parents' houses. Love your show.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Awesome.
I'm glad she loves the show. Love to hear from people. So what was the other thing is, actually, I do know who that was. Yeah. Hello. I do know who you are, Sharon. So hi. What we were just talking about? Oh, the
279 Center Street.
279 Center
Yeah.
Street, yes. So one of the things with that house is people don't judge a book by its cover. Didn't your mother teach you that? Somebody, I mean, my father taught me that. You never judge a book by its cover, right? So don't look at a listing online and rule something out because, it's on a busier street. I was in this house yesterday. I did a commuter open house there yesterday, and she has a recliner there, and I had to do a couple things on my computer, and no one was in yet. So I sat in her recliner, and like it has this big, beautiful bow window in the front. Well, like big windows in the front. When I'm sitting in the chair, like you can't even see the street.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't hear the street. Nothing.
Well, also, if you look at the photos, you can't see the street from the photos.
Yeah.
Like in the front of the house. And like I said, I was jealous. I think it's a great house.
Yes.
And
that one is priced really nicely now too. It's $650. So it's a 3-bedroom raised ranch. It's nicely done over, so you can see all the pictures online.
Yeah.
And the lower level of a raised ranch is sort of wonky world. And when it comes to appraisals and things, one step down from the front door threshold, you can't consider
a bedroom. Yeah.
However, there is a big room downstairs where there's a bed in there now, but it will be removed. If you wanted to it's very versatile. So
and
if
a full bathroom.
And a full bathroom with like not like a shower stall, so easy to get in and out of. So if you're looking for something maybe like a in-law type situation or something like that without not an in-law like apartment because there's no kitchen or anything there, but
a guest suite.
A guest suite, or make it your primary suite. Oh no. We're going to get in trouble by our listener.
Yeah, we have a lot of open houses, but if you follow us on social media, be sure to look at our stories. We have a bunch of open houses this weekend. 62 Alvern Road in Pembroke is Matt Mahoney's new listing. Adorable. That got a lot of great responses on social media. He's going to be there today from 10 to 12. That is on the market for $575. We have so many. So
yeah, there's so many. Just go
on
to bostonconnect.com. You'll find all of our open houses. And again, I'll be at 207 Valley Street tomorrow from 1 to 3, and I'll be at 279 Center Street from 10 to 12 today. And tomorrow we have Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater, so I will be at 38 Metacomet Road in West Bridgewater today from 10 to 1.
Yeah,
So
and happy birthday, Trish Flynn.
happy birthday, Trish Flynn.
Woo!
And to my client.
And to your client.
Bye, Tim.
With you.